Memphis Wrestling is on the road this week with back-to-back events. Next Friday, March 18th, join us in Trenton, Tennessee at the Peabody High School, benefiting the Boys and Girls Soccer Clubs. Then, next Saturday, March 19th, Memphis Wrestling is headed to Black Rock, Arkansas, benefiting the Black Rock Police and Fire Departments. Help us make a difference and get your ticket for as low as just $10 at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. March 27th, Memphis Wrestling is Too Cool with WWE superstar Scotty 2 Hotty. And we just added to the card the leader of the Dark Order, Evil Uno, who will join the Dark Order. April 10th, everybody dies but one. Lance Archer returns to Memphis Wrestling to go one-on-one with the Gun Show. And it's official. On April 16th, Memphis Wrestling Saturday Night returns with a special guest, Impact Wrestling megastar, Outlandish Zicky Dice. That's Saturday, April 16th at the Wrestle Center. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com.
American Hostile Championship Wrestling's on tour with the following upcoming events. Campbell, Missouri, April the 9th with Rhino! Door! Door! Door!
Ladies and gentlemen, the man-beast Rhino is here!
On April the 9th at the Community Center in Campbell, Missouri at 36045 State Highway, WW. Bell times at 7:30. Advance tickets $10 and at the door for $12. You'll see Chris Hayes, Rude, Trick Daniels, Jason Vaughn, The Young Goats, Denzel Rollins, Mark Southern Jr., Big Jack Parker, Justin Case, Austin, the Reaper Bolo, and special guests, Cookie St. James and Cass McCoy. April the 9th, Rhino.
Door! Door! Door!
For ticket information, call 636-232-3313. That's 636-232-3313. Be there!
Door! Door! Door!
Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLube.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.spunklube.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. We can all help prevent suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, and also prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255.
What happens when someone sends you a box of cassettes from the 1990s? You put them on as a podcast. Sit back and take a trip to the past for Cassette Wrestling News. Stone Cold Steve Austin called this the first ever podcast. These cassettes were mailed every issue to subscribers during the heyday of wrestling fanzines. Jeff Osborne and John Cena sit down and put out an episode of zany, fun, and sometimes some serious stuff. Get ready to dive 30 plus years into the past.
All right, This is episode 2. This is Dennis Coralluzzo. The best I can figure out, we're talking about 1992, early 1992. Dennis was a friend of mine and a friend of yours, just a fun guy to be around. But this was right after the big split where Dennis was doing his own stuff and he wasn't doing anything with God, who did you mention just?
Joe Goodhart.
Joe Goodhart. Yeah, I can come up with the name. With Joe Goodhart. And Joe was in that process of no one really knew what the hell was going on. And Dennis is so funny. He says, you know what I'm saying? Like 100 times during this interview. But he is just Dennis. If anyone knew Dennis, this is him talking. But how did you become friends because of Cassette Wrestling News, or was that just one of those guys you met in the business?
I think this goes back to me being on Joe Goodhart's radio show. Yeah, I was in studio. It was so weird, man. And I kind of bonded with John Arezzi in the beginning too. And Joe Goodhart had a radio show in Philadelphia. I'll never forget the look of disappointment when I got to the cab ride and the cab driver was black and he was disappointed that I wasn't the real Jeffrey Osborne, but on the Wings of Love for those.
Right. And was your hair really long then too?
Yeah, it would have had to have been. Actually.
Yeah.
So not a match, but yeah, I ended up going up to the radio station and studio, did the show, and I guess Dennis was listening at the time, and for some reason, I must have given my address out live on the air, and I think I got a letter from Dennis, and he actually tried to pay for cassettes, and I said, no, I don't do that with people connected in the industry and promoting the industry, so I added him to the mailing list, and we became friends, and he would call. I'm sure he called you quite frequently too.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he loved talking about the business, and he was actually instrumental in getting me to my first WMC Memphis studio show. I would have never gone. Yeah. It was the weekend where he had Fred the Elephant Boy and another guy from the Howard Stern show say they were the illegitimate sons of Jerry Lawler.
Right. I remember that. Dennis, he would just call you just random and just talk about, it wasn't just about wrestling, but one of the main things was that he just loved the business so much and he wanted to be successful. But on the underline of everything, Dennis was also, he was a wrestling guy. I'll just put it that way, okay? I'm not going to say carny. I don't believe it because he would tell me the truth. But I did catch it one time when I went to Philly to wrestle. He blamed the whole thing. He blamed the whole thing about being called out of the ring and everything to Jim Cornette. Blamed it on Jim. Later on, I found out it wasn't Jim. It was Dennis that wanted me out of the ring because I sucked up so bad. So he didn't want to hurt my feelings and think that I'd be mad at him. So that's kind of the way he did that. So, all right, guys, that was Jeff with episode 2, and I want you to sit back and listen to Dennis Coralluzzo.
Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Crank this up here. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2. I'm on the phone with, looks like he's going to be the top independent promoter in the United States. I'm talking about Dennis Coralluzzo. We had you on for a brief period of time on the annual, and I want to welcome you back again, Dennis.
It's my pleasure to be back on Cassette Wrestling News. It's one of the things I look forward to listening to every few weeks when it comes out.
Okay, I was curious as to what you're feeling about the Joe Goodhart situation. I know you two guys, I wasn't quite familiar with your relationship. I believe you started him or something like that.
I'll give you a little brief history on it. Joe Goodhart was basically a fan, just like I was. I got involved in the business long before he did. He got involved with a radio show up in Trenton, New Jersey some years ago. Then he switched to another radio show in Philly before he got on WIP, which was the big one. And we knew him from coming to the shows and stuff. And we used to let him ring announce for us, and he used to carry some of the bags for the boys, stuff like that. And we helped him out because in return he was getting us publicity and mentioning our shows. And plus we let him ring announce, and we had a good relationship with his two partners at the time. There was one show, WDVT. We felt of my involvement and getting Jerry Lawler involved with the radio station and Cornette and a lot of the other wrestlers that I had make to help him and his partner because it was something that was needed in the area, which was a wrestling radio show. Then after that, he decided that he was going to try to promote a few shows on his own, which were complete failures. And we had thought maybe he'd learned by that mistake and we really get it again. So he stopped promoting for a few years. Then when he got on WIP, he then got back into it. But, we taught him a lot of what he knew. In fact, we taught him everything we knew. I mean, he knew, but not what we knew. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he kind of used some of our connections and just burnt old bridges with us when a whole group of promoters around here were working together. And he decided to take off on his own. My partner, Larry Sharp, had the foresight, I guess, to just realize, to tell us to just let's do our thing, let us do his thing. And he'll prove once again that, he was a failure in the promoting end of it. And that's basically what happened. The thing I feel sorry for is all the many, many people that got ripped off by him. The thing that hurts me is he used to go around telling everybody what a thief and a crook I was. And he pulled off one of the biggest scams and rip-offs around. I mean, that was the thing I resented the most, was how he used to go around bad-mouthing us, and me and Larry Sharp. And if you ask anybody that works in the business, anybody that's ever worked for us, we never gave a bum check to anybody. We never stiffed anybody on a payoff. A lot of the top independent stars in the business, if you ask them what independent promoter they would rather work for out of every one, I bet my house that a lot of them would tell you that they'd rather work for me and Larry Sharp because of the way we treat them. And anyway, I just want to say, the things is that the man knew. I mean, he didn't wake up that Saturday morning and go on a radio show and decide then he was going bankrupt. I mean, he built up a nice little war chest before he went off the air. I mean, I know people that paid him membership money, ticket money for shows that he knew he wasn't going to have. And the other thing that bothers me was how he insulted people's intelligence. Like, he gets on the radio show, tells people in one breath that he's going to refund their ticket money, and in the next sentence, he's telling how he's going to have his phone number disconnected, which is the only way of getting ticket money back from him or contacting him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm working with the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. They've seized his letter of credit from a bank. See, in Pennsylvania, to be a promoter, as you know, there's no regulation of pro wrestling in Pennsylvania except for licensing of promoters and the paying of tax. Well, he got his license under the old system where you can either put up a bond or a letter of credit through a bank, and it had to be in the amount of $10,000.
Dad?
Hold on, I'm on the phone doing an interview. Hang up. Chuck, you cut that out?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, cut that out. Don't put that on there, man. That's embarrassing.
Somebody keeps beeping in this damn phone, I'm telling you.
Huh?
Somebody keeps beeping in.
Yeah, and the call waiting and all disruptions and shit, But anyway, so what happened was he had to post a letter of credit because he couldn't get a bond. Now, what's happening is the state has seized that letter of credit. So what they're doing is they're going to make available, and this is something for your listeners, if they can spread the word out, that anyone that has purchased tickets off of him, okay, that they can get their money reimbursed. You follow?
Yeah.
And what I'll do is in the upcoming weeks, hopefully I can get back to you, maybe even before this tape comes out, and give you the address of where they can send their tickets to get a refund. Now, it's going to be on a first-come, first-served basis. You follow?
Yeah.
So anybody that mails tickets in better photocopy them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they have proof that they sent them in, and I'll get back to you with the address and where to send them to.
Okay.
But see, the part of the problem getting back to him was, we put on some of the top independent shows in the area. I mean, we never brought in let's say the talent he did. Like, he'd have 6 or 8 matches of named stars, and a lot of these matches didn't have no meaning at all. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just a big, extra payload, so to speak. And, we would do our matches. We developed our own talent, which was trained through the Monster Factory, and we were bringing a couple guys, independent guys like Funk and Lawler and, Hanson and Kamala and Scotty and guys like that, Orton, and we would put them on the cards with our guys. But 95% of the time, the main and final match was one of our heavyweight championship matches. We felt that if we'd done it that way, we wouldn't bury our guys. Where in his case, he put his guys on the bottom of the card, put the stars on the top, and then when he'd have a show with just his guys, no one would come see him. His brawls at the Hall and his Bar Wars shows, and I mean, they were lucky if they drew 100, 150 people. Because on them smaller shows, he had to use his talent that he had, and they couldn't draw because people would say, well, why should I go pay to see him now when I can go see him when he does the big shows? And that's basically what it comes down to. He promoted, he didn't promote on the premise of, the bottom line, like making money. His promoting and his radio show and everything done was putting him over,
Yeah.
He was more concerned about putting him over than the wrestlers.
Do you know, I heard he was in rehabilitation or something?
Nah, he's basically, that's the thing I heard, and I got this from a pretty good source, where someone told me that he shaved his beard, cut his hair, and he stays in his apartment because he's actually, the word's out there, he's so fearful of running into people that he owes money to, and getting his, getting roughed up a little bit. I've talked to people that, I know one guy that put 6 season tickets off him before he went down the tubes, which cost this guy and his family almost $800. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all the people who bought videotapes.
Yeah, there's people, I hear more people complain that they sent money for videotapes and never got the videotapes. I talked to a lady from Atlantic City that waited over a year, and didn't get no tapes back. And the people that paid memberships to his fan club, which now went under, and it's just, it's shit like that gives promoters a bad name and a bad reputation. It's like ripping people off like that, And like I said, that's the thing that got me. He come on, put the mouth on me and Sharp, and that we were crooks and thieves, and the whole time, he'd done exactly what he was calling us. That's the thing that I'm bitter about,
So I understand you've taken over like his Bar Wars.
Well, it's funny. This is a joke. We were supposed to do the Bar Wars show, which is going to be Tuesday, I believe February 25th, which is tomorrow night. So, and what had happened, we had the thing all set, and a couple of his former partners, guys that lost money with him, started up this little renegade promotion, and they went in the back door and took the deal off us for tomorrow night. But, it's a thing where if we got it, we got it. If we didn't, we don't really care about it, because it's something that's their loss, because they were only used to getting 100, 125 people in there. We knew that we can put in 400 to 500 people. I guess the management of the place wasn't, too convinced of it, and felt for some line, I guess, I don't know what made them, go back just the same group of people with a different name. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without Goodhart. So, I mean, it's the same product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you watch some lousy TV. I mean, it's like, you want to watch it again, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So,
But we got some other shows from him. He had a couple towns he was working on in Delaware and Pennsylvania, and we grabbed them right up. And we still feel we're going to get the Bar Wars, and we can get his Brawl at the Hall if we want it. And, like I said, he burned a lot of bridges and lost a lot of money for a lot of charities that done fundraisers as pro wrestling with him. But, that stuff you can never recoup. But, we get more and more people calling us, and we're getting into more areas now that he's, out of it.
What do you think's going to happen to him? Think you ever see him again?
I have a funny feeling that he'll pop up somewhere again. Not so much in the promotion end, but I just think, it's a kind of situation where he's not going to be the kind of person that people are going to forget. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't foresee him getting involved with wrestling again. If he does, it would be suicidal because of all the people that he did rip off and the people that are enraged with him right now. All the students that he took money from that won't be able to be trained again unless they go to another school and pay tuition again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a shame for them. They're the people. I mean, I feel sorry for everybody. I mean, it's cool to say this, but I feel no sympathy toward Joel. I feel sorry for the people that he burnt, the people he ripped off, the people he stole from. That's who I feel sorry for.
Okay, well, that's... Any other things you want to say about Joel? Before?
Not so much. I've never been one, to be honest with you. I'm talking about this now because I'm real bitter. I've never been one to dwell on the past because it's counterproductive. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's spilt milk. But in this case, I'm just really upset and bitter because of some of the stuff he tried to do to me and Larry Sharp, which he was very unsuccessful at, and the things he said about us. And now he, everything he said about us happened to him. So, the only thing I'm doing now is I'm trying to help the people that got ripped off get back some of their ticket money. That's about all they're going to get back. People that had memberships to his fan club, they might as well kiss that money goodbye. People that had tapes might as well kiss that money goodbye. And, it's just a matter of hopefully some people will get back some ticket money. But once this is all done and out of the way, as before, the WWA does its own thing, and don't worry about anybody else. And, I wash my hands of that situation. And, I rode high on the hog for a while with it, like the conquering, hero, so to speak, Yeah. But, see, the thing is this, let me just say one more thing, not to dwell on it. I have a theory, there's an old saying that a man can accomplish almost anything he wants as long as he don't care who gets credit for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in his case, that wasn't. It was everything where it was, it was Joel, this, Joel, that, he did this, I did this, I did that. And that was part of his, I'm not in it for the ego end of it. I just know that, when me or Sharp call up somebody to book them for a show, we know we're not going to have any problems booking them because we treated them good and we've always paid them and we never had no problems with them. And that's, I feel like I got a good reputation, not only the wrestlers, but the fans and the people in the, media end of it, like yourself. And, there's a lot of guys that do the sheets. And I see a rise, again of, like, independent wrestling. If you look around now, what's happening, like, look at Jim Cornette. He's got a great promotion going on down in, Smoky Mountain. And Bobby Fulton's running a lot of shows, and we're running a lot of shows. And, even, like, Eddie Mansfield's running shows, and they still do a lot of shows at the Sportatorium in Florida. And, there's some promotions that are starting up on an independent type basis, even though they're small. And I feel if these people do it the right way, all these predictions about wrestling going back to the territories and the regions and stuff like that, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
And like I said, the main thing I'm concerned with now is like getting people to know that we're out there, we've been out there. We put on some great shows. We got we got our own talent that we developed. We got right now, on the independent circuit, we feel we got some of the hottest matches on the independent circuit out there. Like, our matches, like our tag matches with the Lords of Darkness against Ray Odyssey and Chris Evans, and matches we have with Chris Candido against certain guys. And the Boys Gone Bad, there's a ballet named Amy Lee, and their matches against the Spider have been, top-notch independent matches. And we're drawing money with our talent. We got a lot of young stars coming up, like Victor Rivera's sons training with us, and we just got a whole stable of up-and-coming young talent that you're going to see, like, in professional wrestling. They're going to make big names for himself, like guys like King Kong Bundy and Bigelow and the Soul Taker, and guys that Larry Sharp trained, like Scotty the Body. We feel that I feel that Larry can still produce great talent like that, and we're going to take advantage and use them, before they become big stars,
Yeah. Something I wanted to touch on is that you continue to outdraw WCW up there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's it is amazing, and we work hard at it. We promote a town right, and we've outdrawn WCW on a regular basis. I mean, we continually outdraw them. I guess it's proven a point that people are tired of seeing the same stuff on TV. I mean, WCW's got some great wrestlers, and they got they got the best probably, and the WWF. But when you're giving people 8 hours each week of the same thing, they're going to get tired of it, and that's how I feel. What's killing some of the business is overexposure on TV and cable, and people, when they hear of an independent show, they want to come out and see something different, something that they haven't seen before. And our WWA style of wrestling is we keep the wrestling inside the ring. There's nothing more annoying than having to follow a bunch of wrestlers throughout a building and watch them wrestle. They're supposed to wrestle in the ring, and that's what we're giving them. I mean, clean finishes, no screw finishes, ref bumps. I mean, all our finishes are clean and in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, that's one of the. I like good art shows, but the thing that I didn't like was that some of the matches I missed, probably 3/4 of it, like Terry Funk and Kevin Sullivan. I didn't hardly see any of it.
Well, it's funny, because back when he was talking to us, and let me just elaborate on this on one more point, is that back when he was talking to us, I remember distinctly Larry Sharp said to him, "Joel, you want to save $400 to $500 on every show?" And Joel goes, "Yeah, how can I do that?" And Larry says, "Well, don't rent a ring because you don't use it anyway,
Yeah.
But at one time, it's a shame. Like, I felt, one thing I do, I said I didn't care about him. I had no sympathy for what happened. Was that years ago? I mean, I considered him, and we had some time together, and we always got along. And it just, his ego got to him, and led to his downfall. I mean, I hope, knock on wood, nothing like that ever happens to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I felt sorry for. I mean, there's other promoters that have gone down the tubes, and I felt sorry for him. I tried to help him and stuff, but in this case, it was just, there's just too much heat there,
Yeah, it's getting pretty strange when I met Terry Funk there, and he said, "What's the use in setting up, or what's the use of having a ring in Philadelphia?"
Yeah, it's the most misused prop in the building.
Okay, I want to ask you. You're getting bigger and bigger all the time, and what are your plans for, or what's going to go on with the WWA in 1992?
To be honest with you, we want to, basically, it's just stay in this area. We want to do New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, and we'd like to move into Maryland. We'd like, it's funny, like, if you look, like I'll use Jerry Lawler as an example, he's always been a big, like the big fish in the small pond. And he's always made money, and they've made a lot of money down there. And that's what we'd like to do up here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just keep us one area and just grow in it. And bring, like me and Larry Sharp have our own arena now. We finally got that. We got access to an arena that we can use anytime we want. Doesn't cost us nothing to use it. We're running our second show there on March 28th. If that goes as successful as the last one, we had about 750 people there, which is good for an independent show. Then we're going to go every 3 weeks there, and we got a place in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia that will also be running. So, like, hopefully, if we can run, 50 to 100 dates this year, we'll be happy with that. If we do any TV, it's just going to be on a regional cable type thing, because this is the area we want to operate in. I mean, anybody that thinks, there's a lot of promoters out there, like I'll give you an example, like Gordon Scazzeri, there was talk about him, like, he's ready to take on the WWF and WCW, and the same thing with Herb Abrams. They tried the same thing, and look what happened. You cannot take on them two companies. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta, we just feel we gotta stay in this area and make money in this area and be happy with that.
You think TV would help or hurt you?
To be honest with you, it's funny. We had TV before. I'll explain the situation to you. We had one of the largest cable networks in New Jersey here. And what had happened, we had a show called Wrestling Wrapped, which was a half-hour talk show that Larry Sharp hosted. And we also had, when we would run shows, they would show it on the same cable system. And we used to put the angles over on the talk, on his talk show, and we used to have the matches on TV. And people liked it. They went nuts over it and became the highest-rated TV show on that cable system.
Yeah.
And it was helping us at the houses, because I'll get to that in a minute, but what happened was new management came in and took over the station, and then turned around and tried to charge us for the time. And we told them, we said, look, we're giving you a good product. It's probably the most watched show you have on TV, and we don't feel we have to pay for it. And it come down to the fact where, we parted company, but they still would do some of our shows. And when they did our shows, I mean, the TV ratings that they got from us, cable-wise, they were excellent. So now, hopefully, I got a deal signed now for TV. I got a deal signed now. All I got to do is just tell the people when we're going to start it. And I'm just holding off just a little bit on it, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is this, one point I'd like to make is which WCW didn't follow. I mean, they try to copy the WWF in a lot of ways, and they come off looking as a cheap imitation. But if you notice, the reason Vince, his house shows are down, but historically, him and his father always done good house business, was because they never gave away a lot on their TV show.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We don't give away a lot on our TV show when we had it, so therefore the people were coming out to see the live shows, to see, see what was going to happen in this feud that built up, and the angles that were run on the Wrestling Rap show and stuff like that. And that's a shame, because if WCW followed that idea, maybe they would pick up at the house show. But do you agree with me that they're giving away too much on TV?
I think both of them are, these angles.
Yeah, I really don't think WWF is like on their weekly show. I don't think they run the angles real well like they've always done, and set up the set up the angles, and I think they still do it differently than WWF. I just think too much overexposure has killed them. But Vince ain't giving away as much on TV as Turner is.
Are you enjoying the episode? Well, Cash App us. That's right, $BTSTS. You don't have Cash App? Download it and get $5. That's right, $5. That's $BTSTS, $BTSTS. Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. Hey, use our Uber Eats code EATS-BRIAN-T24790UE. That's EAT-BRIAN-T24790UE. Use that code and get $20 off a $25 order. Hey, I just want to take a moment to tell you about Athletic Brewing Company. This might sound strange to some people, but ABC makes non-alcoholic brews. That's right. I like to taste the beer with my food, but not the alcohol. If you go to tiny.1/STSPod2022, that's tiny.1/STSPod2022, and try a six-pack, use that link. If you buy a six-pack, you get one for free. Athletic Brewing Company.
Shootin' the Shiznit is exclusively sponsored this month by SpunkLube.com. SpunkLube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. SpunkLube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. The newest addition to the SpunkLube family is SpunkLube Pink. The pink formula is colorful and fun to use. It's a special hybrid formula that's non-sticky and non-staining. All of their products are shipped in discreet packaging from D Enterprises. Please go to spunklube.com and order a unique, fun-to-use personal lubricant.
Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis Wrestling is back! And you can watch it every Saturday night at 11 p.m. on CBS starting March 5th. This ain't your grandpa's Memphis Wrestling.
Campbell, Missouri, April the 9th, American Hostile Championship Wrestling at the Campbell Community Center. Field time 7:30. Call 636-232-3313. All the top American Hostile Championship Wrestling stars and Rhino. Gar! 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 Be there!
Alright.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. With all these desperation angles and Jim Neidhart leaving and Dusty Rhodes getting Greg Valentine, do you think that WCW is starting to feel a little pressure from, or rather WWF feeling a little pressure from WCW?
No. Like I said before, Vince McMahon, I feel, has never felt WCW as any competition, and to this day he still doesn't feel that they're probably competition, and that's one of the reasons he's been able to have the edge over them. You know, a lot of these guys got fired from the WWF and quit. I think the only way they can come back and hurt Vince and the WWF is if they jump on the bandwagon to expose a lot of stuff that's supposedly going on in the WWF. I mean, look what WCW has signed. They got Cactus Jack and Rude, who are great, you know. But I mean, nothing against Greg Valentine, but I think his better days are behind him. Junkyard Dog, you know. I mean, these are people that they're signing that I don't think can help them. And anybody that that follows the sport knows that they really can't help them. So, you know, when they're signing this talent, I mean, let them go out and sign more guys like Rick Rude and get a guy like a Bret Hart or a Jake Roberts or a Randy Savage and sign them up and show that, you know, they're signing major league talent. Then they have something to brag about. But they're not really signing anybody. I mean, the guys they should be signing up out there. This is what enrages me with WCW is that the guys that they're signing up there, they shouldn't be signing up. They should be bringing in guys in like Scotty the Body, you know, guys like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, develop.
You know, Williams and Gordy. I hope they bring them in, and you know, but they're not. They're bringing in, you know, they got guys like Vegas Vinny or whatever his name is, and PM News, and they're spending money on guys like that, and Valentine and Junkyard Dog, and they should take that same money and bring in a Scotty the Body, a Patriot, you know, guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, develop the younger
guys, like, you know, like guys out there that that can work, like a Barry O, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're not. They're just bringing in what I call retreads. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Greg Valentine would probably draw some people if I threw him on an independent show, and I'm sure Junkyard Dog would too. But they're not going to draw thousands of people in Philadelphia or the major cities that they're in. Matter of fact, they're not even going to draw them in the smaller towns that they're in. But I feel if they bring in somebody like Scotty and guys like that, they'd be better off, But again, it's their company. Let them run it or ruin it the way they want to.
I think that's one of the big reasons these independent groups, they're spending time developing talent instead of stealing it. Like these big time guys like McMahon, I can't think of one piece of talent he's developed. I can't think of one.
That's right. I can't think of any either. Like, I'll give you a perfect example right now. People don't know this, but this Chris Chavez that wrestles as Tatanka, and Papa Shango, who's the Soul Taker, both of them were trained by Larry Sharp.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that, but Chris Chavez was trained by Larry Sharp. And Vince has, the thing about Vince is, if we got time to elaborate on this, Vince surrounds himself with college graduates, marketing geniuses, TV geniuses, and he can take two guys like Chris Chavez and the Soul Taker and turn them into characters like that, which are very interesting, I feel. Do you feel they're interesting?
I think the Chavez character is Tatanka.
But like what WCW does is they have, it seems like they have the same old people working for them that don't develop stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like look at the perfect example. I mean, like Chip the Firebreaker, and who was the other one they had?
Todd Champion.
I mean, stuff like that. Don't you think that was kind of stupid?
Yeah, it didn't.
Vinny Vegas, and I seen him at the Civic Center, so I asked him when he was going to wait on my table. But just like some of the stuff they do. I mean, they have no creative flow at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Vince never developed these guys, but he took them from other promotions, and he turned them into a separate, distinct character. You know what I mean? A unique character. Like for example, look at The Undertaker.
Yeah.
He's probably, he's like my favorite guy in the WWF. I sound like a fan now, but I mean, they're the guy that, WCW didn't do nothing with him.
Yeah.
And like Vince takes these guys and he's going to continue to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, well, Dennis, do you have any closing comments for everybody?
No, I just want to say to everybody that, I want to say that, you're doing a great job with this Cassette Wrestling News, and I enjoy listening to it. I look forward to getting it. I'll pop it in my tape player in the car and just ride on down the highway and listen to it. It relaxes me, and it's informative. I like some of the personalities you have on it. And I just want the people out there to continue to support independent wrestling, because it's the best product out there for the money. You're seeing talent develop, and you're seeing a lot of good young guys that, you can say, I went and seen Joe Daniels, or I went and seen Chris Evans, or I went and seen Chris Candido at an independent show. I remember seeing them guys before they became stars in the WWF and WCW. And that's the thing, it's just had the people, support independent wrestling. And, that's like it's the last independent wrestling. I think it's about the only thing, I can honestly feel that, with some of the scandals and some of the garbage that's going on, and, I think a lot of these bigger promotions, there's a possibility of them taking it on the chin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And independents are going to flourish. Go out and support guys like Jim Cornette and Bobby Fulton, and even, Eddie Mansfield, and, there's a lot of people that are pissed off about him, and Dennis Coralluzzo, and some of the other guys, to promote on an independent or regional type basis. Keep go out and seeing Dino and stuff, and Jarrett and Lawler stuff, and that, it can only help the wrestling business,
Yeah. Okay, Dennis. Well, I really appreciate you taking time out to do this, and anytime you want to come on again, you're more than welcome.
Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Memphis Wrestling is on the road this week with back-to-back events. Next Friday, March 18th, join us in Trenton, Tennessee at the Peabody High School, benefiting the Boys and Girls Soccer Clubs. Then, next Saturday, March 19th, Memphis Wrestling is headed to Black Rock, Arkansas, benefiting the Black Rock Police and Fire Departments. Help us make a difference and get your ticket for as low as just $10 at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. March 27th, Memphis Wrestling is Too Cool with WWE superstar Scotty 2 Hotty. And we just added to the card the leader of the Dark Order, Evil Uno, who will join the Dark Order. April 10th, everybody dies but one. Lance Archer returns to Memphis Wrestling to go one-on-one with the Gun Show. And it's official. On April 16th, Memphis Wrestling Saturday Night returns with a special guest, Impact Wrestling megastar, Outlandish Zicky Dice. That's Saturday, April 16th at the Wrestle Center. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com.
Campbell, Missouri, April the 9th, American Hostile Championship Wrestling at the Campbell Community Center. Field time 7:30. Call 636-232-3313. All the top American Hostile Championship Wrestling stars and Rhino. Gar! 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 Be there! This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLube.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.spunklube.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. You want the best, you got the best. The best little wrestling podcast in the business. All episodes on www.stspod.club. Did you enjoy that episode? Cash app us at $BTSTS. If you've never downloaded the Cash App, download it today. You'll get a free, that's right, a free $5 for using the code $BTSTS. That's $BTSTS. Hey, that was another great episode of Shooting the Shiznit. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all our sponsors. A big shout out to Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets. Remember, you can reach us on Twitter at ComicBookMarkBT, Instagram at BT Shooting the Shizit. That's right, Shooting the Shizit without a G. Facebook Shooting the Shiznit, and Facebook Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk. If we don't like you in that group, first you have to ask to get in. If we don't like you, we'll kick you out. All the episodes are at one place, and that's www.stspod.club. Podcast Roll Call. Who's Right Podcast. Po Boys Podcast. P3 Radio, my buddies Richard and Josh. My World with Conrad Thompson and my friend Jeff Darren. Lance's favorite include Nickology, Rock Solid, Playlist Wars, I'm Fat Podcast. Hey guys, remember, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.